full screen would be fun. That'd be weird, but it'd be fun. Alright, before this speedrun begins and sort of like a speedrun explained any percent tutorial, let me start by saying this. I'm getting burnt out on resets for this game. Just for the RNG factor. Like, I've put in way too many hours. And now we're at a point where RNG kind of starts the run. And it's the most monotonous, horrible, dog shit thing in the world. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. Like, the run was better when there was no RNG, but it was a lot slower. That's the problem. But you add RNG to the mix, it's not... It makes running really not fun. Like I like games with skill and not so much RNG. Like, backpack percent's looking real smooth right now because it's just too reset heavy. Like it's extremely reset heavy at the moment. And hopefully I can figure out a way, or we can figure out a way to fix that without losing too much time, or at least any time. Because it's extremely reset heavy. Like, it's not good. But, my name's Zomb. This is your Happy's Humble Burger Farm any percent tutorial and speedrun explained. These are the current optimal routes for Happy's. I'm sure they'll change by the day. And it's going to continue improving, so I suggest you join our Discord, add in your speedruns. Link in the speedrun leaderboard. But, let's just get right into it. So, as you guys know, this is, you know, the usual deal with this speedrun. You start here in the tutorial. This is a lot of the problem with resets as well, is because I think like 2 minutes of it already, you're just spent doing nothing. And if there was some way we could get rid of the tutorial in game, I definitely would, because it's just awful, But you guys know the drill here. Make a burger, get the fuck out of here as fast as possible. As you can tell, I get extremely not I can't focus in the tutorial whatsoever. I actually really like this song. So, per usual, timer starts on first movement after exiting the brochure. The reason being, the tutorial is pretty much a complete waste of time. There's no story elements. There's no lore. You don't go back there during the main story. And you get stopped as soon as you get to the apartment anyways, which would be another time lost just looking at a brochure. And on top of it, if you're reset heavy, timing the tutorial would just be not good. Not good. Because getting that consistent and doing that a lot of the time is just not, this is not it. Really not it. It's really just a complete waste of time. And mostly the reason being that it's useless. And on top of it, Happy being as glitchy and buggy as she is, you could literally stand inside of her and have her get stuck on you. You can do this, you can do that. It's just more RNG to the run that's really not needed. Like, so that's the reason why we don't start time on the tutorial. But you're going to spawn, you're going to start timer after you exit the brochure. You're going to grab the radio on the left side of the desk, which can be particularly troublesome if you're new to the game or not that fast or don't have good hardware. It can be a problem. And this goes for all scythe games. Scythe games are really there's something with them in the code that makes grabbing items while moving not the best of things to do. So you may reset on this radio 3 or 4 or 5 or 20,000 times. So basically, before we continue any further, you exit your apartment, you go downstairs, and you just saw me grab $20 behind the vending machine. And in earlier stages of the run, this was not so much a economy heavy sort of run, but now it is, and you need a certain amount of money to do a certain amount of things. So basically, in the early stages, you're going to see us collecting money, organizing things in a proper way around your money, and I'll speak on those when we get to them. So you exit, you get out of the load, and you're going to see me pause here. Now, when you see me pause and quit, I'm going to quit to the main menu and exit into endless mode. And endless mode is the sort of infinite kind of chill, casual game mode in Happy's where you either go to diner or farm and you just do an infinite amount of orders, and if that's your sort of things, that's, you know, where you go and do that. But recently, a runner by the name of Rubes and myself were doing a bit of glitch hunting in Happy's. I believe it was a couple days before Christmas. And Rubes had the idea of trying out a bug that somebody found in the Scythe developer Discord. And the bug was them going into endless mode and returning to their story mode save and the whole world being open or glitched or buggy. So basically, it was just a shot in the dark, and we decided to try it. So we figured out the trigger. Originally, we thought the trigger was... what did we think the trigger was? Because it was basically... Oh, yeah. Okay, so originally we thought you had to clock in at farm in your story save. But, yes, thank you, Rubes. We thought it was clocking in. Right. We originally thought it was, clocking in during your regular save in farm, but it wasn't, and it's really just exiting the apartment and letting the next quote play, and that'll give you an autosave point. So basically, before I go any further, what the glitch is you exit your story save, you make sure you have a save, you go into endless mode, and you exit endless mode instantly. Originally, we thought you had to clock in endless mode too, but you don't. So you exit endless mode, and you go back into your story save, and the whole world will be open and unlocked because the game thinks that you've unlocked endless mode. Because when the game launched, endless mode wasn't permanently unlocked like it is right now in version 1.17. 1.17 has endless mode completely unlocked, but on launch, it wasn't like that, and you had to beat the game. So when you go into endless mode during your save, the game thinks that you've already beat the game and you're just in a save. Yeah, basically that you're in shift 6 and you've completed all the regular shifts where everything improves. You know, you start doing hot dogs, cookies, burgers, this, that. The game basically thinks you've done everything. Or, you know, at a certain point in the sleep cycle. So, you're going to see me do the riddle skip or the endless mode skip, whichever you want to call it. We call it the riddle skip because originally we were glitch hunting for a way to get to PD extremely fast because a developer said in a developer stream, a developer of Happy's said that they got to PD in about 10 minutes, and the quote was, riddle me that one, speedrunners. So we kind of took it legitimately, and we went looking for a way to get to PD in 10 minutes, and this is what we found. Now, if you're noticing, you saw me lose a little bit of time right there. And what we're working on currently as of January, what's today's date? 7th, 8th maybe? Just sometime in early January, we're currently discussing timing without loads, because recently I discovered that my load times were pretty inconsistent with the current world records, because this run isn't officially verified yet, because I haven't verified it. So the current world record with a 2858 has a little bit better of load times than I currently have. So that dawned on me that it's getting to the point where we need to start timing without loads, because it wasn't just this scenario. I was sort of waiting for it to creep up on us, because timing without loads, as you know, every moderator or runner knows, can be very tedious and a big problem. So I wanted to kind of cross that bridge when I came to it, and I've come to it. I didn't think it was going to be myself. I thought, because I'm not one to really notice that or worry about it, because I don't have a beast of a computer, but I definitely have like a mid-tier setup. So I usually can hang, but recently that hasn't been the case. So timing without loads is something we're looking into heavily. We need somebody to create an auto splitter for us. And um if you're watching this video and you have any experience using auto splitters and making them and dealing with that, we would be just extremely happy to give you a commission, because we desperately need it. But regardless, endless mode skip is happening. You'll see me starting the apartment right about here. So I load out of the apartment, exit to the main menu, go into diner, immediately pause and exit. And you're back in the apartment. And the way we found this glitch out was, normally that sliding door isn't open until you at least clock in or sleep or complete your first shift. I'm not sure which, but it's one of the normal things that trigger it. But with that sliding door being open, the game thinks you're a lot farther than you actually are. So you immediately exit the apartment, you jump off the balcony, you hit the load. It's a lot faster that way, as you can assume. Right here you see me grab a candy bar, a cup of coffee, and another $5 off the ground. So you see me have $25. We need the coffee, and you immediately drink it because you start running down the road. Coffee obviously makes you go a lot faster, if you didn't know. And you have this one candy bar here to break security glass, so you can grab your first item that you need to craft using the fabricator, which of course we'll get to. But let's continue. So you see me throw the candy bar, instantly turn around. The candy bar breaks the glass. Pretty much you can use any item, but the candy bar is the only thing that you don't need that's pretty much in the area. So you just carry it all the way down the road, use it to break the glass, jump in. Grab the clock that's hidden behind two vases, and you want to bring this to your first boss, which is Petey the Pig. And actually, I have a working theory that if you grab one of these vases, I haven't gotten it to work yet. I've gotten it to work slightly, but you can grab one of these vases and actually get a boost jump, sort of like a B-hop off of the vase that gives you like super speed, and you could probably jump from like the light post all the way over those two wires. But it's just a working theory. Definitely something to try. So you're gonna want to continue, hit the load into PD. Now, you're going to see me here instantly drop the clock, go over to the vending machine, and you're going to see these two coffees. You're going to want to grab the red coffee because it lasts longer and you can get around to your next sequence much faster. So you have an empty inventory and you're going to instantly drink this one coffee. Now, this route might take you a minute to learn. It may or may not, but basically you're just going to go around and turn on, I think it's about 1, 2, I think 5 power switches. So this is what you're going to see me do now. And they all have to be in order, so this is why you take this route, by the way. Obviously, they would be a lot better routed if you didn't have to take this route, but you do. So you're going to hit the green wire first. That corner I just walked through can be a bit tight, but if you know the angles, you should be okay. Now you're going to want to run into the right side of the bathroom to hit your next power box. It's going to be yellow. Not there, right there. Immediately exit and look left, and you're going to see the white power box. You're going to hit this. Run straight over. You're going to hit the blue power box. This will be your 4th. And your very last power box is where you're going to need to grab 3 patties to cook for Peter the Pig so you can feed him and he'll explode. So, flick the last switch, grab 3 patties. You're going to want to put your first bun down and immediately put all the toppings for your first patty on. That way, when the patties are done cooking, you can instantly throw them down and have a full burger. Now, while those are cooking, patties usually tend to take 20 to 30 seconds to cook, depending on how you put them on, when you put them on, if they fall off. Which, if they fall off, that's probably not good and might be a reset. But, either way, make sure you throw 3 on the grill, and you're good to go. But, you're going to want to run back over to the vending machine, and you're going to want to buy at least 2 scratch cards, because you're going to want to make $30. There's only $25 in the current route that we take. So you basically have to gamble with lotto tickets to hopefully get back up to $30. So I buy 2 at a time because you can make your money back and hopefully you get lucky. But this is the part at the beginning of the video that I was talking about where the run gets a bit reset heavy. And if you don't make your money back or at least make $30, you don't even really need 30, you need 29, but 30 is obviously the only way. Because scratch cards only win, I think, intervals of 5, so 5, 10, 15, 20. But you're going to want to buy 2 of these and pray to the RNG lords that you get lucky. So I bought 2 and instantly made my money back, which isn't bad. Bought 1 more, and I won 2 credits back. I bought another. And I won 20 off of the single, which was extremely lucky. Rarely happens. So what you're going to want to do here is grab the coffee, grab the clock, and you're going to want to buy 2 items from this vending machine. You're going to want to buy 1 glue and 1 battery. So you grab the glue, grab the battery, and that's for your first buildable later on in the run. Now, these explodey guys shouldn't be too much of a problem, but you're just going to want to blow them up if you see them near you, just so they don't bother you while you're making your burgers. Now, you're going to see me drop these items right in front of PD. This is because we quit back to the main menu after he's dead, so you're going to want to pick up your items after you kill him. And this is the most optimal place to place them. Now, you're going to see me explode that explodey guy, pick up 3 patties. I instantly make 1 sandwich, put another bottom bun down, throw the last patty on the ground so you have 4 inventory slots. You're going to want to pick up 4 ingredients and do the same with the 3rd. Now, right here, I think you can throw them from a lot farther, but I don't really like to chance it because there is a slight chance that they could fall and completely miss, which would be a slight time loss by picking it up and throwing it back. So, I usually wait till I'm about right on the blue barrier side, right where you see this box, um, covered in like a blue tarp. And that's usually where I start throwing them. So you basically throw 3 patties into his mouth. You're going to want to aim for his head, and he'll instantly explode. He'll be dead, and you pick up your 4 items. You're going to want to run into the middle of where he died and exploded. Go to the back of his safe and pick up your first blueprint for your first craftable for the fabricator. So pick up the blueprint. You're going to want to see the notification in the top right of the screen. Otherwise, what we're doing right here isn't going to work. So make sure you see the notification in the top right of your screen. As soon as you see that, save and quit. Now, the PD split, you're going to see me start to lose a little bit of time right here because I'm still working on where to split that, probably during the load. But it didn't really lose me any time just because I split late, that's all. So you're going to spawn back in the apartment, which obviously, as you can assume, is much faster. You're going to want to drop your items in the living room. If you drop your items in the bathroom or the fabricator room, they will disappear. They will disappear after you menu in this next section. So, put them in the living room. Now, something about this trigger that I do want to note. Once you walk through this door, do not jump, because it is possible to jump over the trigger for Vic, which is the headless robot in the fabricator room. It is possible to do that, and it is a extreme time loss if you miss this trigger. So make sure you walk through this door, because there is a pretty decent chance that you can jump over the trigger. You're going to want to walk through the door. Vic's gonna start his dialogue here. I turned subtitles off recently, but he's starting the dialogue, and basically the hole in the wall in your apartment blows up and you can go in there and start crafting items. You're gonna want to run down to the bottom floor, grab 2 batteries and a glue, and that's pretty much all you're gonna have the money for. I got lucky here. You're gonna see me have a little bit of dough left over, but I shouldn't really have that because you only need to make 30. I got lucky with an extra 20. 2 batteries and a glue. So I got there just as it was exploding. You're gonna want to run into the bathroom, into the closet, and then through the hole in the wall, and you're gonna see Vic, which is the talking head that basically something to do with the lore. Yeah, you could play through the game casually for anybody who doesn't want any spoilers. But basically, this is the fabricated room, and this is where you're gonna be crafting all the items needed to beat the game. So there's going to be a chip that respawns here on the table, which you just saw me throwing first. I picked it up off the table. It respawns with every load, no matter where you load. So, keep that in mind. You're going to see me use that twice during this run. Well, I guess 1 time after this, but you want to throw the battery, the chip, and the glue into the fabricator. And it's going to give you a keypad hacker to hack lock doors that have a key code. So, drop your second battery with your other items, and you're going to want to run out to the hallway and throw your keypad hacker on the door. Literally at the door across from the hallway. Or your apartment, I should say. Now, there's going to be 4 numbers that are randomized here, and obviously it's going to blink green. Press it when it blinks green. It gives a forgiving amount of time, but it's not a lot. So just make sure you're quick. And the faster you do these, obviously, the faster the run is. Now you're going to want to jump in this room and instantly drop down and walk over that backpack in the corner. Now this backpack is going to give you the ability to have, I think, 6 or 7 slots in the bag. And for additional inventory regular slots in your hand. So you have a decent amount of inventory slots. Now in the run, we don't really need all of them, but for one thing. So basically, we just need them to fight Charlie, or Charlie the chicken. And you pick up the backpack, and you menu back to the main menu, and you warp back upstairs to your apartment. Is this faster? Absolutely. Without a doubt. You're going to spawn back in your room again, and you're going to want to pick up your glue and a battery, because we're going to make another hacker, and we're going to need another blueprint to build our next craftable. Each of these craftables are going to need a blueprint. So we're going to need another hacker. Do the same thing. Pick up the chip, because it respawns on the load now, so don't forget that. Pick up the chip, throw the glue in, throw the battery in, throw the chip in, of course. Make yourself another hacker. As soon as your hacker's done, you're gonna want to pick up the coffee that you brought from PD in your apartment. Pick that up, and then drop out your apartment balcony again. Now, this coffee here that we originally first grabbed for PD to get there faster, respawns every time you put one in your backpack or you use one. Those are the only cases. You can't store them in your apartment because it won't respawn, things like that. So basically, it either has to be used or stored in your backpack. For some reason, the backpack doesn't register, and they keep respawning when they're in your bag. So you're going to want to pick up a candy bar if you're low on health like I was. And if you're not, good for you. You don't have to. And just pick up the coffee and save it. Now, this alleyway, I want to state that, like, if you're just b-hopping down it randomly, you can just get an awkward timed b-hop and sort of, like, run into the wall, so just be aware of that. I like to just slow down and run, and then I'll jump on the boxes, and then see me jump through the bushes, and you're good. You can actually hit the bus from a decent amount of way, too, like you see me do right here, so be aware of that. Don't jump into the bus button. Now, a bus rides cost $2, so that's why the economy ends up at $29 before you get to Charlie, $29. So, I ended up with 35, but you really only need 30. 30 is the least amount you can get. Or need, I should say. Now, you're going to spawn in front of Burger Farm, and you're going to want to drink the smaller blue coffee to get inside and hop over the counter faster. Hop over the counter. Now you're going to want to turn to your right and grab 3 tomatoes for Charlie the chicken. You're going to need these for the boss because the tomatoes are placed in his segment sort of in an area that's out of the way and is not really good for the route. So we grab them here and store them in our bag. Now here, I dropped my coffee on the ground because if you obviously press B to put it in your bag, that's a lot slower. You're going to want to take out your hacker here, let it do its button thing. Throw that on. Turn around, go in the freezer, go all the way to the left in the last box and grab 1 hamburger patty. Because you're going to need that for your one and only burger bomb. Now, of course, you're going to want to do the hacker, of course. Like, it's the same thing every time, but sometimes if you're all jacked up on coffee, your FOV can be a bit weird, and if you try to move too close or too far, you may miss a button, so just try to stand still. You're going to want to open the door. Now, you see me flick this handle right here to the right side. See the bottom left of your screen. Flicking that handle can be a bit weird at first, but the hitbox for it is at the top where the black part of the handle is. So you're going to want to aim for that, hit that, and a tile in the floor is going to open and you're going to want to enter the load. So click that with your big coffee in hand. drink the big coffee when you get down into the small crept part. Now, this strategy has changed from when this run was an hour and 30 minutes plus. We used to come here with the red coffee, which is the robust version, the $8 middle version. It was the smaller coffee for a while, and then now we managed to get down here with a bigger coffee. I believe you can get to the blueprint with only a middle-sized coffee. You don't really need the large, but the large is the only thing available, so that's what we do. Maybe a bit dark here, but you'll learn the pathing pretty well. If not, you can press F to turn on your flashlight or whatever you have it binded to. You're going to want to come over to this back corner here after you see this red window and flick this switch here. Turn around. And head back the way you came and take a left. Take a right. Take another left. Take another left. And you're going to be at this fan, which is the reason why you flick the switch, because otherwise this fan is on and will kill you. So, flick the switch, grab the blueprint, and you're going to want a menu again, basically back to your apartment. You'll get used to doing this. You'll understand that it's a lot faster, and it's basically the only way. Because any other way is much slower. So, heading back to your apartment, you're going to want to pick up a clock and battery, which should be the only two things on your apartment floor. Head back down to the fabricated room and throw the battery and the clock in, and that burger patty that you picked up at the burger farm, you're going to want to put out of your bag and put it in the fabricator. Now, these three items are going to build your next buildable, which is a burger bomb, which is used to blow up certain doors that otherwise can't be accessed. Now, originally, we'd have to make 2 of these, but I've worked it in a way where you only need 1. Pick up another coffee and candy bar. Don't eat either of these or drink the coffee. You're going to need to save them for the next segment. You're going to want to run straight to the museum. Enter the load. Now here, you can just flick the burger bomb at the door. You don't really need to be too cautious with it. Just don't stand near it, because it will do a lot of damage to you. I think it does 4 bars of damage, so I'd advise standing far away. Especially during this segment. So, drop down through the hole in the ground, enter the load. After the door blows up, of course. You're going to be down in the trash area. Obviously, keeping your candy bar and coffee in hand. Take the exact route that I take. Now, normally, if you're super low on health, you can hit this locker that's fallen over to your left, and there's a candy bar and I think it's like a beer or an item that hurts you. So pick up the candy bar if you need anything. Or to heal yourself, I guess. Run over to the back right corner. And you're going to want to throw your coffee, or whatever item you prefer. Coffee, candy bar, doesn't really matter. Just make sure you're sprinting. Shout out Rubes, because he's the one that mentioned that to me, because sprinting's required to break any glass in the game. So if you're throwing an item, make sure you're sprinting or at least walking forward, and it'll simulate it throwing it through the glass. So you're going to want to break this glass, hit the button, and pick up your item. Oh, okay, yeah. So the beer in that locker depletes your energy but gives you falling damage immunity. So that's probably really good to know. I wonder if that can be used. It probably can be used pretty well. I mean, well, I don't know. I guess you could just do either or, but that's really good to know, Rubes. So there you go. Now, this elevator section, I neglected to talk about, but we can talk about it in more detail. After you hit the button, you're going to want to head over to this elevator here. And when you drop down, because this is obviously the only way to go down unless, you know, anything else is discovered, but this is the only way to go down. Usually you want to try to aim to put your back to the right side of the wall and then just fall straight down, because that's where the bottom elevator is. But here, this is where the candy bar comes into play, because if you take a large amount of fall damage, you can just eat the candy bar as you're going down, and you'll either heal or won't take any damage. So, I like to try to go like left, right while turning my mouse, but you can go left, right while turning A or D, whichever you prefer. There hasn't been a real perfect way to do this, because I feel like you're always gonna get stopped and lose at least a little bit amount of time. Like, I feel like any way that I've gotten extremely fast has been an accident, and it's been crazy. And there's always a potential to die as well. I think I've died here on the game the most by either the elevator crushing me or I fall straight to the bottom and die after I've used all my candy bar or any of those things. So basically, it's sort of a YOLO, but you could move in a way where it helps you. Try to just fall in between the boards. See me eat the candy bar a little bit there. I couldn't fall in between those. Took a little bit of damage there. You're going to want to jump into the opposite elevator's roof. Don't jump through the elevator that's falling, because it's a lot slower. You have to crawl through the bottom of it to get to this elevator. So you're going to want to jump through the second one, the one that's already down here. Jump through the hole in the wall, and you're going to enter a load. I love this song, for sure. As soon as you spawn in here, this is where the Charlie fight takes place. So you're going to want to instantly drink the coffee and head to your left. Jump on this pillar. Grab your first of 3 pipes that you need to turn on the power. And I grabbed 2 of them on my way and pick up the 3rd on my way back. Pick up your second one in between the stairs and the lava there. Want to head through the green tunnel. Drop 2 pipes here, and if there are any eggs here, like I just blew up here, as you see on screen, make sure you blow them up first, because if the eggs blow up and blow your pipes into the lava, they will disappear, and obviously instant time loss, because you have to get pipes from elsewhere. So, blow that up first. Grab 3 slices of cheese, because same drill as Petey, you're going to need 3 burgers to feed Charlie the chicken, except this time it's a little bit different. And that's why we grab tomatoes as well, because the tomatoes are placed in an area that isn't really optimal for the current route. It hasn't been optimal for the longest time, because you have to go in a room, and that's the only thing you need in that room, and you have inventory space, and you're already at farm. So it just seemed convenient to pick up 3 tomatoes and eliminate that from the route as well. So, put 3 tomatoes in the bag. Now, in the back left corner, you're going to pick up 3 more pieces of lettuce. So you're only going to be able to put 2 of these in your bag. And you'll have 1 piece of lettuce in your hand, and you're going to need to pick up 3 onions, because you need 3 burgers. So you're going to need 3 of every ingredient. At this point, we'll have tomatoes, cheese, lettuce, and onions. And the only ingredient we need left after this is pickles. So you're going to want to run straight down the hallway. Pretty simple. You're going to head into the power room, and this is where you solve the power puzzle. Now, this power thing is a bit controversial. I wouldn't say controversial, but it's a bit weird, because I think it's based on either graphic settings or what kind of frame rate you have at the time, or I don't know if it's limited to what your frame rate is at the time. I'm not sure, but this puzzle can be a bit weird. On like mid to lower tier systems, I think it goes slower, and then on the higher tier systems, it can be extremely fast, which I think almost as bad. Yeah, it's exactly, Miles. Exactly. Like, the power puzzle is not good. Like, especially here when you have such a time loss. If it's going slow or you miss one or something like that. But sometimes you can come in here and get it instantly, which is really nice. But basically, you just have to place all of them in the highlighted section and press them at the time that they're in the circle thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. But this can go really fast or really slow depending on what kind of system you have. I mean, I'm assuming it's graphics. I mean, I can't really think of another reason that it would do a fast or slow kind of deal here. Because, like I said, certain runs have it really fast. My run here, you're going to see it's extremely slow, which kind of isn't good because it's a slight time loss. So, I noticed that the first... So, before I continue, you're going to want to place these in order from large to small. So, you're going to see me turn here because I saw the largest one that goes at the top all the way at the bottom. So, I had some time while it was rotating to pick up 3 onions, and your inventory is going to be completely full. Now, yeah, it's very slow. So there you see me hit the first one. Basically, just try to line it up to where the highlighted section is. You're going to want to hit the second one, and then the third, and you wait for the fourth. And the power's on. That opens every door in the Charlie section. Is there a way to cap, uncap frame rate and happies? I don't know. See, it's interesting because I have VSync off, but like if I flick it on and off again, like I'll get like more than 60 FPS. Like it's weird. Like, and it never used to do that to me. So I guess you would have to play around with it. Like I feel like this is a really like variable kind of game. Like there's a lot you could do here with settings. Like things are buggy. Very buggy. And not in a bad way. It's just like it's just what it is for what the build is, you know? So we have to find out ways to work around it or figure out why things happen. So you're going to want to go in here and grab $150 that's hidden in a breakable vent. All you have to do is just crawl through and it'll push the vent door open. In the same power room as well. It's on the ground hidden here. It can be a bit hard to see. And sometimes the vent gate can completely cover it, but you can still grab it through the gate itself. So grab your $150 and you'll have 150 plus whatever you already had. Exit the vent. Turn left and take your first left as well. Jump over any eggs or anything like that so you don't lose health. Push open a vent on your left here, and it's going to bring you to the kitchen where you're going to be making 3 burgers, like I said, much like in PD fashion. But when you enter the kitchen, turn to your right and use the coffee vending machine to brew a large coffee. And you're going to be needing a large coffee for when you exit the Charlie fight. Now, building burgers in the Charlie fight is a very... It's a tedious thing, and if you can do it fast, you can save a lot of time, but it's easy to fuck up. So basically what I do here is instantly drop these onions, and you'll still have something in your hand, but you only need 3 open slots. So you can drop it if you want, but I just dropped the 3 onions and grab 3 patties and instantly start cooking them after I brew the coffee as well. Now, as soon as I throw them on a grill, I grab 3 bottom buns because they're kind of in a weird spot, and if you don't grab them early, you're just going to end up picking them up again, and they're kind of just pushed off to the right side, and you don't really need to go over there for anything else but these, so I just like to grab them and throw them on the stove burners here, so they won't, like, interfere with the patties, but they'll just chill here as well. This is where I put the cooked patties so they get off the grill. Make sure the patties aren't stacked up. Because they'll cook weird and not cook all the way. Now here you see me taking out all the ingredients for each of the burgers. We pretty much have everything but pickles. Need 3 of each. Now here you see me exit the vent and you're going to want to head left while your patties are cooking, so you got to be really fast. Grab 3 pickles on the ground and that's pretty much it. You have the ingredients for 3 burgers. Head back into your vent and start cooking and making your burgers. Throw your pickles on there, because you're not going to be able to pick up 3 patties. Grab a bottom bun, throw your meat on, and just count your ingredients so you don't put 2 ingredients on 1 burger. Now here you see me grab and bag my coffee, and you're going to want to brew another, except an $8 version. You don't want another 16. Now, like I said, just make sure you count your ingredients. You don't want to put multiple ingredients on 1 burger because it's pretty much dead run. Gotta be careful, but you'll get used to it. Now, I could have bagged these right here, but I still had to pick up my coffee, so I just pick up these 3 and bag them anyway. But after they're done, you can bag them and throw them in your bag. Now you're going to pick up your last coffee that you brewed and immediately drink it so you can go do the power section. The power section is an interesting one, because before the power, we used to turn on the power in the middle of making burgers and grab 3 pieces of lettuce on the way back, which obviously was proven to be slower. This is the much faster route. But the thing is, if you aggro Charlie all the way to the power section, he can have a chance to get stuck or at least chill over in the other side of the map where you don't need him to be chilling. So when you go to feed him, it's a big problem. Because like I said, this is a little different than PD, and we'll talk about it more when we get there. So head out of the vent room and go back to the main lobby. Pick up this first pipe here on your right side. Go back to where the cheese is and pick up the other 2 pipes that you placed. Now you're going to have 3 pipes. So you don't have to pick up any more. You're going to want to jump over the statue again and head into this now open door that's not open until you turn the power on. You won't see this until you go down here. So head into this room after you jump over the statue. And throwing these pipes on can be a bit tedious, because if you miss one, it's a good 2-3 second time loss. So make sure you take your time with these pipes and don't spam them in. They don't register. They don't register. So make sure you do one at a time with like a second or 2 in between so they register. See me wait here. You see me wait. There you go. Now, I take out a burger early here, but you can really do that wherever you want. There's Charlie. Now, here, I turn around to see what kind of behavior he's having, because like I said earlier, this route is faster, but Charlie acts differently, and that's a problem. Because I noticed ever since I started doing this route, I haven't had as many good Charlies. I don't think I've had any. Now you're going to want to jump through the main lobby, jump over the lava, and you see me looking for him and watching, and he de-aggroes right here. He's not locked onto us, so I go back. This is way too far. I hit the egg, and there he is. He's coming towards us again. And I just kind of gun it, and I kind of wish I didn't, because he would have been a lot closer. I think he de-aggroed again right about this point. So the AI is much like a real chicken. They will lose sight of you if you're far away. Now, I accidentally take out my coffee and rebag it here, but it ended up putting my items in a different order, which can be a tip for any future runners. Put 3 sandwiches in. Basically, you're going to want to head into this pen, which I neglected to talk about, but it's just because this section can be so stressful. So, basically, you're going to want to put the 3 cooked burgers into the bowl, ring the bell, and Charlie's supposed to come to the pen, and you're going to want to run into this vent door that opens after the 3 burgers register in the bowl. So, throw the 3 burgers in, the door opens, and then you ring the bell, and Charlie's supposed to come to the pen, and you're supposed to hit a button, and he's supposed to burn and die. But his AI is very sensitive, and situations like this can happen, and has happened to me consistently with this new route every time. And the problem is his aggro, so just make sure he's locked onto you. You can literally turn around and aggro him. Like, I think that would be way more worth it than to deal with this. So I rang the bell, and I'm waiting here at the button. And he's supposed to attract to the bell when you ring it. But as you can see here, I'm just sitting here waiting. And I was kind of smart and assumed he wasn't going to come, so I just ran out really early. I ring the bell again and go out to the hallway, and I look to see where he's at. He's kind of close, so I was like, fuck it. And I rang the bell again. I go back into the button room. And here's me waiting, and he's getting there. So I spam the button. Spam it again, because I don't think it worked. And then run to the opposite end of the vent, push the door open, Charlie's dead. And you're going to want to run to the door on the right-hand side that's now open. And hit the load, and that's the end of the Charlie fight. If you're using splits, that's normally where I split. But that can be a pretty make-or-break section during all runs. So make sure to take your time to learn that, for sure. Now, after this load, there's 2 key things you want to do here and pick up. Now, there's going to be a blueprint on the table as soon as you spawn. Obviously, there's, you know, like, there's just no way you can miss it. So, pick up the blueprint. That's for your last buildable that you need. And you're going to want to head over to the counter. And there's going to be a scratch card, which I just pick up for the lulz. And 2 cans of food. There's going to be an expired can of food and a regular can of food. Don't pick up the regular can of food. The regular can is tipped over. I've actually ruined a run by picking up the wrong one. So make sure you pick up the one that's standing upwards. Put that in your bag. And exit through the hole that only opens after you grab the blueprint. So you have to grab the blueprint. Drop down through the tunnel, and you're going to drop into water where you have to do about a 60-second swim to your exit. Holy shit, that's a great time. Let him know, Tyler. Thank you. Basically, it's just a straight shot. No turns or anything. But you have to make sure you're going fast and don't hit any objects in the water because they do have collision. And they will stop you because a monster is chasing you in this section, but obviously you don't turn around because it'd be a waste of time. But don't hit anything in the water, like I did right there. Don't do that. Now, after you get through that rock section, you're going to start swimming upwards. Don't use your spacebar to go upwards because it's a bit slower. If you go at a diagonal angle straight up like you would in real life, I guess, you'll have a lot better time doing this. Now, getting out of the water is a really interesting thing. What I found out is you don't want to spam your spacebar because spamming your spacebar will just make you jump and look like a complete fool. It's much to swimming in Minecraft. It literally reminds me of Minecraft swimming, where like if you're like in too deep of water or something, and you just or like trying to fucking get out of water and it's like too high of a wall or a climb, that's exactly what it's like. So the way to get rid of that effect is when you're coming out of the water, you're gonna want to hold shift and forward. And don't jump at all, and shift and forward will give you this sort of momentum against whatever block you're trying to hop up on. So after you're holding shift and forward for about probably like a half a second, you're going to want to hold spacebar, press and hold it, and you'll get sort of like a longer jump, and you'll be able to get up consistently every time through any type of water. Jump up and hit the ladder for the load, and you're going to be back in New Elysian City again. Now, when you spawn here, you're going to want to take out your big coffee and drink it instantly. And like I said, you're going to want to do the glass breaking method where you kind of have to hold forward. And that's how you need to throw items and break glass. And see, I kind of got robbed right here because you can look at my no board that I was holding forward, but it just didn't really register. It can be a bit tedious. So make sure you take your time here and sort of do like a sprint and just run and throw the object through the glass. Now here you're going to want to grab another free clock because it respawns on every load. This is the last clock you need. Pick up your clock if you use it to throw. Now, here's a really important section. I'm going to be talking about this a lot more a bit later, but here you're going to want to deplete your health all the way to 1 HP. And the reason being is for the next skip in the game, which I recently discovered last night, actually. Almost proven to not work, or thought to not work, but I made it work. And I think there's a lot more to it, and there's a lot more to other sections in this game. So, basically, when you're back in the city, it's going to be littered with a bunch of monsters, all types of NPCs, and all that sort of thing. So you're going to want to get yourself down to 1 HP. After a while, you'll see what kind of enemies spawn where, and you can pretty much just head to them and let them explode on you. Now, usually I make it out of Charlie's with a bit less health than that, but I'm sure you could just lose more health in Charlie's. It wouldn't have to do this, but it's a bit risky also, because if anything happens in between there or anything like that, a death earlier on could be dead run. Now I'm back at 3 HP. So you're going to want to head over to the plaza and head into Steal and Sell and pick yourself up a $90 camera. That's why we needed the $150 in Charlie's in the vent. Or $90 camera, I think I said. I don't know. It's $90 though, and that's why you need $150. Normally you just main menu here and go back and craft it, but you still need to get yourself down to 1 HP. Like I did here. So there's one more enemy, and I found another over here in this corner. And you're going to want to instantly main menu here, and then warp back to your apartment. Do the same thing, press continue. Go left into the fabricator room, grab the chip on the table, throw the camera, the chip, and the clock into the fabricator. Grab the chip fryer helmet, and you'll enter the flashback sequence after pressing your interact button. You'll spawn into the flashback. And there's going to be a wall here that doesn't open until a certain part of the sequence. So basically, you're just sitting here waiting at this invisible wall until you're able to walk through. Now, you see me check my bag in here to make sure I have the proper copy that we grabbed after Charlie, and I do. Now, I like to hold strafe out of this room, sort of like a W and D combo, but it can be whatever you want. Just make sure you're ready when this section opens up. And I actually turn around here because I was like, where is it at? And then it opened. Now, you're going to want to turn to your left and instantly grab the maid's key right here, which is completely needed for this next section. You're going to want to open this door and run downstairs and hit another load. Hit the load as soon as you get to the bottom of the stairs. Now, this is where the meat and the excitement of the run currently is. So, when you spawn in sewer in the flashback sequence, it's the same sewer that's used during the endgame sequence. And basically, you're going to go through the same sewer twice, normally during the run. Well, a runner slash glitch hunter by the name of Prophet found sort of a skip when he died during the flashback tunnel that allowed him to skip instantly to Diner. And as you know, regularly during the sequence, there's a 2-minute cutscene plus the run all the way down to sewer again and going all the way to sewer to Diner. So this is about a 5 to 6 minute skip on top of Riddle Skip and everything we've already found in pretty much over a month since its release on December 3rd. Now, I have a few working theories here, but the one consistent way I've found to do the skip is this way. You're going to want to enter the load, and you're going to have the coffee and 1 HP. The reason you grab this coffee or this can of food, whatever you want to call it, is because it's expired and will kill you. You want a game over here is the goal. And as soon as you get to this section, you're going to want to pull out your coffee as soon as you get over to the flashback door that you would normally exit out of. Now, I don't interact with this door, but I do hover over it, because I have a working theory that you need to hover over this door, or at least let the game know that you've been over here. So I just kind of tap it a little, and I head back. Now, when I was testing this last night, I noticed something really interesting. I head back over to this other section where the sewer's closed off, but I look in the distance, and one time I saw those exploding tanned figures that are usually roaming around the city or in farm, and they spawn way on the other side of the sewer when they normally wouldn't be spawning. And I take out my coffee and I wait until I see one. I see one pretty much when they're in my vision. It's either like probably has to do with you being over here, seeing one, or interacting with the door, or all three. But this is the most consistent way that I found, is to just head over to the door and then head over to these metal bars. I wait till I see one in the distance. You can't see it, but I saw it on my monitor. I drink or eat the coffee and I instantly die. You're going to want to let the game over screen register. You're going to respawn where you started, but you can instantly turn around and you're going to hit the door that you came out of, and it's going to spawn you at Diner because the game registers you as going through the second sewer, not the flashback sewer. Which in turn saves you about 6 minutes, which is a pretty big skip. So, you spawn at Diner and play it normally as opposed to any other run or strategy. Turn on the Diner power. And cooking at Diner is really an art because it's all RNG, so it's all about putting as much on the grill as you can and making as much milkshakes or malts, if you want to call them, as you can. In addition to making the 3 burgers that you need to kill the farmer. So, you'll see me just put a bunch of items on here. I like to grab patties first because you need those first always. And then I grab some eggs, I grab steaks, grilled fish. I pretty much grab everything. But the first thing I do grab is always patties. I like to throw plates over where you serve people, so it's a lot faster and easier. Just throw everything on. Cook as much as you can. Now you see me grab ice cream. I start making malts. Dash your ice cream right there. Grab some eggs. That's pretty much every item that you can cook here. T-bone steak and a grilled fish, which I already have cooking on the grill, so I take my patties off. This section is really RNG heavy. 1 item orders are really key here. If you've ever played Burger Barn, that's pretty much a really big deal. That's why my record for that is so low, is because of the low item orders. 1 to 2 items is best. We get some sleep later, Brummel. Thank you for stopping by. Tim, what's good? I hope you're well. So yeah, very RNG heavy section. You can get very lucky here or very unlucky. You know, sometimes when I see 3 items on the paper, I normally just reset. So grilled fish, T-bone steak, pretty excellent. And basically, every time you serve something, you just want to put it right back on the grill so you're not down any items. And in between customers, you're going to want to start making the burgers to defeat the farmer. And I just like to put them on top of the soda machine. Keep track of the full made patties. Have you tried it? No, I haven't. Nope. I have not. Strawberry malt fried egg, decent order. Just gotta wait for the eggs to be done. Oh, actually, no, I don't, because I already have one made there. So you make the strawberry malt. Now, after serving your second customer, this is going to be the time you're gonna grab coffees. I think you're gonna need at least 5. You're gonna want for this section here. I like to put 2 in my bag and then just bring over the other like 3 to the trash and just leave them there. It's pretty easy to burn items here, but I wouldn't worry about it as long as you have more stuff on the grill already. But it can be game changing if you do burn something you do need, so be wary. Just a T-bone steak here for my third customer, so not bad at all. The only thing I did forget here was a plate. Slight time loss for sure, but not detrimental. Now, after this next section, you serve 3 customers and you have your first objective, which is take out the trash. You're going to want to head out to the back trash sort of shed here. As soon as you throw the 3 bags in, it'll turn into sort of a maze, a mini maze. There's 3 turns you're going to want to take, and it's a left, a right, and a left. You'll get used to it as you go along with it, but just take a left turn, take a right turn, and take a left turn, and you'll get out every time. I've never seen this part of the game. Because Mild's like, yep, Lord Master. So, basically, throw the 3 trash bags into the trash. Exit the maze. Come back in. And you're just going to want to start cooking up your patties, burgers, building them. Whatever you need for the farmer, that's first priority, because after those first 3 customers, there's only 2 more you need to serve. So after this first one, you have another objective. As soon as you get back from the maze. So you see me making my last patty here. Now, sort of a shitty kind of 1 customer order here, but not really because I already had the patty made. So, essentially, I just had to get it together. But those are the orders that you don't want. Sort of shitty, but you can work with it if you have items already made. Make sure you grab your plate. Put your items on, ring the bell. Now, something to note here. And when you're throwing orders at the customers, they just have to be in range of the customer as long as they throw near them. You don't exactly have to hit them. You can just throw sort of near them, and it'll register. And back to your coffee thing, it has something to do with registering that you've been down there, for sure. So like you can't just get down there and instantly do it. It's not gonna work like that for whatever strange reason. There's some sort of sequence there. Now, after you serve that sort of, I guess, fourth customer, you could say, you're going to have another objective. Now here I like to grab another coffee and just instantly drink it, because if you don't, it sort of blocks your vision from doing this next segment. Now, the junkyard is probably one of the more ridiculous parts of this run, just because of its design. It's designed for you to take your time and like be sort of scared and sweaty, but for speedrunners, it's just hell, because we try to go up it fast, and it's like the way it's designed is it's hard to make it work to go fast. It's very hard, and the chances of you falling if you just try to YOLO it are pretty high, and of course going to be a dead run if you die. So just take your time here. If you die on here, keep the save and practice junkyard a bit. You could go in through a save file anytime and just go and practice this segment. I highly recommend doing that. So you get familiar with where the bumps are, where the lips are on some of these cars, and you'll have a lot easier time doing so. Now, that first section and this section right here are the parts that you're going to have a lot of trouble. But once you make it up, you should be fine. Jump over to this very last car, and you should hit a trigger and be instantly back at diner. I just start getting other food ready because I already have my plate ready to go for farmer. So I just have to serve this last customer, and I'll be able to defeat the farmer. Get your plate ready, just toss it over. I just throw a Happy Cola over there just cause. I forget what he wants. Oh yeah, it's a chocolate malt. Now, if I had had this blended, it would have been slightly faster, but blender's not long. Ring the bell. Serve him. Now, something to note here. If you take out your bag too early, it won't spawn you into the farm until you exit your bag menu, so I would advise try letting it spawn you in first. That would definitely be faster instead of getting your plate out and then spawning. You'd much rather want to get your plate out here. Now just instantly throw the plate of the 3 burgers at the farmer. You're going to spawn back at diner, exit out the back door into the phone booth in the right corner of the map. Hit the double doors and you should hit a load. Now this is where I take the 2 bag coffees out of my bag and just put them in my hand. And when you spawn in here, you're going to be exiting out of the door behind you. So just keep note of which door that is. You can drink this coffee at any point, but obviously as soon as the door starts opening would be the most opportune moment. And you're going to want to speed down this hallway and wait towards the end of this door. There's this big metal door that will activate a sequence, and you'll have to wait for it to open. There has been a clip through this door when it loses collision after the sequence starts. It's been proven to work. There is a known clip, but I don't think anybody's done it in a run, or at least consistently. But if you do know, we would all be glad to know. But I remember somebody saying in the Scythe Discord that they got to this section and nothing had collision, so they might have patched it, but I'm not too sure. It's probably possible to still clip through this door, but I haven't seen it. That's for sure. So you're gonna want to start this sequence and drink this coffee towards the end of the sequence after the like second hole that gets dented into the door. Now here I just like to hold forward. Drink the coffee towards the end of the segment. Now this hallway can be a bit tricky because you can get trapped on that sort of like hallway like ledge right there. But you run out to the grass section. You'll get stopped, hit collision, the game will fade out, and you stop time. And that's it. That's pretty much the current routing strategy tip guide for Happy's Humble Burger Farm. I hope this helps anybody looking to run the game, get into the game. Just get the optimal time or get a time that you really want. But these are the things that I recommend currently. The game's always changing every day. The game's only been out for a little over a month, so I anticipate things to get a lot crazier, new runners, new anything, and this should at least get people started on what they should be doing. But that's the any percent speedrun explained. Yeah, so shout out to anybody in my stream who's here watching that. Romo, Tim, Tyler, Mild, everybody else, thank you. That's that.